Graham, what did you say to the players after that today?
Well, you know what, when that happens to you, and when you've been in the form we've been in, when it happens to you, it's a horrible moment. It's you go from the elation of the halftime scoreline, and you go to the devastation of the final result, and that last 10 minutes. And it's easy to get carried away with that feeling, the swinging emotion. You know, you're looking at the 3 points, and all of a sudden you're staring at none, and it's easy to get carried away with it. I think you have to be quite honest with yourself over 90 minutes. I felt they were the more dominant side. I felt that their work ethic, their know-how, for long periods was getting the better of us. They forced us to change our shape. They forced us to match the game up, which isn't really us, but the game was getting away from us. Even though we got the early goal, we couldn't get in control of the ball. I thought in the middle of the park they had more legs than us. They had more movement, more awareness. They had control. And if you don't get control of the middle of the park, it's always difficult. And however we tried to solve the problem of the middle of the park, it stayed in their favour rather than coming back to ours. So over 90 minutes, I have to say that I felt the result was probably a fair reflection of what went on. The swinging emotion doesn't confuse me. I went in at half-time knowing that they were working very, very hard, that they were building lots of play. They may not have had the chances, but they were dominating. And I knew we needed to get on the ball and control the game more. We couldn't find our way to that level. And as I say, in the end, it's got away from us. There's a lot of disappointed lads in there. There's a lot of young players in there. The goalkeeper, has learned a lot about controlling the football and building possession. I thought we tossed a lot away from the back, which isn't us. And there's other young players in front who, are looking back and feeling that they've learned a lot today. Learned that, in their desperation to hang on to the points in the second half, they forgot to keep the football. In their desperation to not concede again after that early second half goal, they forgot to pass, they forgot to develop our own game, they forgot to go forward and score our third. And there's a lot of lads in there who are good boys. They've learned lessons. They'll be better for it, but we keep saying that. But in the end, it's the truth. There's a lot of young lads who are learning lessons. We've paid the price again. But over the 90 minutes there was some good football play by us, some good goals scored, some things to take encouragement from. I thought Aaron Williams put in a sparkling first start. He showed a great work ethic, brilliant finish. Nichols alongside him, similar work ethic. A pair of them ran their socks off for us and showed some really good moments of quality. And there's some things that we can take encouragement from alongside the disappointment of the result.
Yeah, I guess understandably the players, because it's been a little while, got nervous, I guess, at 2-0, that they didn't really know how to win the game.
I think they panicked. You look at someone with the composure, or the usual composure of Michael Smith. I have to be honest. I've walked in here from the dressing room and I haven't seen the goal again, the first goal. But I literally turned around and put my cup down, and Macca said it was Smudge. Smudge gave it away. I didn't see it, but Smudge is such a reliable, dependable footballer. Even he in that second half, was bashing balls into touch rather than putting his foot in it and building passages of play. And I think, it can happen when the mentality is one where they so want to do well. They so want to give the fans what the fans want, which is winning football. And they've had a little bit of a rough spell. We got out of it last week, stopped the rot. But, slumped today. I'm sure they will learn after today. That second half, we lost our composure. We didn't pass the football. And they showed a great work ethic and a great intelligence and a lot of experience, which, they've got many hundreds of games in their side, and I think it showed.
Yeah, I guess they need to learn quicker now, don't they, with games running out this season?
Yeah, we've fallen into this slump. We do need to learn quickly. And young players will learn at a certain rate or not. So I think Macca's such a passionate guy. I mean, he's saying to him in there, and without breaching dressing room confidences, he's a local man. He's embarrassed to get out there and see people at the moment. He's saying that. That's the level of sort of self-pride that exists in there. from first team coach, through the dressing room. And when it's not going your way is the greatest chance to show your true character. What are you all about? Are you going to sort of hide away, or are you going to stand up and be counted? And I think that we have got to stand up and be counted, all of us. We've got to stand up and be counted, show our true mettle, and start putting in the performances and getting the results that everybody needs, deserves and wants.